Good evening. No, I'm not running a couple of seconds behind or nothing. No. Anyway, um, man, a lot of craziness going on. Probably the thing that kind of raises my eyebrow above anything else would be the apparent assassination of some guy's daughter. She was as well a political activist and involved in the political scene in Russia. So it's not like she wasn't involved in politics or anything. Not that I'm justifying her, what happened to her or anything. I'm just saying it could have been uh, retaliation against either her or her father, or maybe even both. Um, that's probably been the thing that kind of has me curious of what's going on. Um, Continuation of, I'm gonna say escalation, but it's not. It's not like there's anything major that I know of happening. But the situation between the U.S. and either Russia or China certainly not getting any better. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else that sticks out before I go over the tabs. I do have several tabs open. Let's see, 6, I guess, tonight. Or maybe no, 7, 7. Um, Fair amount. Uh, Quite a bit of stuff over the past few days. The title of the show. Um, I just thought I saw this article. I can't remember where it came across. I don't know if it was something that I don't remember how I found this link. Um, oh yes, now I do remember. It was on my phone actually. Got this page, this Google page or whatever, and I actually didn't even mean to bring it up, but I brought it up and I saw the picture of China's J-20 jet, and it's actually a pretty good article about the aircraft, and um, I would say written very fairly and accurate. So anyway, their their fighter jets aren't nothing just to kind of shy away from. They took a lot of technology from a lot of different aircraft and put it all into their J-20, and it is without a doubt a formidable plane. Um, I would love to fly one in flight sim, that's for sure. Um, Hang on, having a couple sips of coffee. Anywho, so I was going to show you a little bit of an article on that, and I guess British soldiers are being told to, I guess, let their families know. From what I gathered from the article, that they're likely going to be going to an extended deployment, and I forget how it worded it. They should prepare their families, something to that effect. Um, so I figured that's definitely notable, and then just various headlines from there. All the headlines that I got up are from today, with the exception of this article on the J-20, which was actually yesterday's article. So let me bring you on over. So this is 1945.com is where this article is. It says China's J-20 stealth fighter is making U.S. Air Force generals sweat. And it's just basically going over the different technology. It says outright Chinese theft, and I mean, like I say, it's a fairly written article. Outright Chinese theft of intellectual property, design, engineering, and technology is evident in Chinese fighters over the years. One can see this in the current J-20 fifth-generation fighter that it looks like it took designs from at least 4 different fighter programs. The following description is a complex backstory for the airplane, and I'm not going to read it all. It says, so bear with me. The J-20 is an outgrowth of the J-10, which borrowed technology from the Israelis. The J-20 is also based on the J-11 and the J-16, both from a Soviet Su-27 design. The J-15, the naval fighter which the J-20 borrows from, is also a product of a Russian warplane, the Su-33. Finally, the J-20 resembles the American F-35 and F-22. Confused yet? Well, here's the thing. There's one thing that it has, as far as a low-end dogfighting, it's got canards, and it's got massive canards, and yeah, I'm going to say that's going to outperform a plane that doesn't have canards like that. They have, in fact, I used it for the show, the thumbnail, I mean. These are canards here, and not only does the airplane go up and down using those canards, but it also goes up and down using pretty much every control surface that would help it out. The thing about these jets, these fifth generation jets, is when you move the joystick, you're not necessarily just going to move one control surface like it was before. That computer in that plane is going to move every control surface that will assist you in making the maneuver that you're trying to input into the stick. And I mean, if that means twisting a rudder a little bit, if that means one of the ailerons, so a lot of times they call them flaperons in this type of configuration. And then of course, if you've got a canard, there's also leading edge. I think they call them slats on the leading edge on some aircraft. So there's a number of different things that lead to increased performance, especially at the low end of an aircraft. Being able to have a canard and the rest of the plane designed as this plane is designed, it's impressive. It is absolutely impressive. I'm just saying, I'm not rooting for Chinese. I'm rooting for, advancement in aviation technology. These are some awesome aircraft. But anyway, yeah, I can definitely see pretty much every one of the aforementioned planes in the design of this. But awesome aircraft. Like I said, I'm not going to go over the whole article about the aircraft. I just wanted to show it to you. Because I tell you what, these are going to be an issue. And up here somewhere, here we go. They may have as many as 150 of these J-20s already in service, and they're building one a month. So here's the issue. That particular plane is pretty badass aircraft. And if I were to, how many F-22? 186 F-22s is what it says that we have. Uh, let's see. Number built, 195 built total. And I'm sure that they probably got a ton of airframes and stuff that are sitting there that could be built. So this is really about the most common number I'm seeing is around 186 F-22s, which is actually more than I thought they had. I wonder, out of curiosity then, on the F-35s. DoD currently has 450 F-35s. Holy cow. I didn't know we had that many. I wonder if we have that many pilots for that many aircraft. That's would be my next question. But anyway, sorry, I just wanted to jump down that rabbit hole because I didn't think we had that many F-22s or F-35s for that matter. Anywho, let me have a sip of coffee. Good stuff. The true apocalypse is when I run out of coffee. Okay, British soldiers to prepare for fighting Russia. The UK's top other ranked soldier has said that British troops must be ready to fight Russia and should prepare their families for the prospect of an extended deployment. His advice comes after the UK's new head of general staff said that British forces must become capable of defeating Russia in battle. Writing for the latest issue of the British Army Soldier magazine, Carney said that the Army is shaping itself to meet the threat from Russia and will be ready with the right equipment to play our part in deterring a future war in Europe. Deterring in this case seemingly means deploying. I want us all to check we're physically fit for operations, and it is also important we prepare loved ones and families who often have the hardest role in our absence, he continued. My ask is that you have discussions about a potential deployment with them now. We could be out of contact for extended periods on tour. Carney's warning does not signal an imminent change in the UK's role in the conflict in Ukraine. However, a warning in June by Britain's new Chief of General Staff, General Patrick Sanders, suggests that the Army views Russia as its next major opponent. There is now a burning imperative to forge an army capable of fighting alongside our allies and defeating Russia in battle, Sanders wrote in a letter to his charges. We are the generation that must prepare the army to fight in Europe once again. The UK has given Ukraine £2.3 billion, or $2.7 billion in military aid since Russia's military operation began in February. British forces are currently training Ukrainian recruits in the UK, and its intelligence agencies are allegedly sharing information with their Ukrainian counterparts. That just talks about who the UK is and NATO. But nonetheless, I'm telling you, I think that they're onto something. I think that there's going to be conflict at some point. Because, I think that the West is going to continue to funnel money and weapons into Ukraine. And I do think that the war will be prolonged. And at some point, something's going to break out somewhere else. Somebody's going to get dotted in the eye or something. And it's going to be on. Just a matter of time, I think, at this point. It just seems so many countries have already slated which side that they're going to be on. And even before Russia invaded Ukraine, even before that, the two sides were clearly lining up. I mean, look, you had the AUKUS deal. I mean, that kind of crapped on what, Britain, was it? Or EU? One of the two. UK or EU, I don't remember which one. Or was it just France? Might have been just France. AUKUS. What a name. Alright. Actually... okay, we'll wait. This is about that assassination, and I figured I would just read this one here to you. It says details about assassination of Russian world ideologues. Pardon me. Daughter revealed. Says a blast that claimed the life of Daria Dugina, the daughter of prominent Russian political philosopher Alexander Dugin. Dugin? I'm not sure if I'm saying either one even remotely right. Was caused by a bomb that had been attached underneath her SUV on the driver's side, investigators said on Sunday. According to Russia's investigative committee, the explosive device ripped through the Toyota Land Cruiser she was driving in the Moscow region near the village of Bolshy Vyazmy on Saturday night. It has been reported that the vehicle belonged to her father. It has already been established that the explosive was planted under the bottom of the car on the driver's side. Daria Dugina, who was driving, was killed on impact, the agency said, reiterating that investigators believe the attack to have been premeditated and to be a contract job. The investigative committee said that its specialists are now inspecting the scene and that the vehicle is being removed from the site for further examination. Expert assessments are being commissioned, including biological, genetic, chemical, and explosive forensics, the agency noted, adding that a recording from the SUV's dash cam had been retrieved while law enforcement officials are working to identify suspects and possible witnesses. Earlier on Saturday evening, Dugin, the father of the victim, was giving a lecture on tradition and history at a family festival in the Moscow region. Dugina was in attendance at the event. Several reports say Dugin initially planned to leave the festival with his daughter, but later decided to take a separate car, while Daria took his Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. Dugin is known for its staunch anti-Western and neo-Eurasian views. Western media has painted him as a driving force behind key aspects of President Vladimir Putin's foreign policy. However, despite his reputation in the West, in Russia he has never enjoyed official endorsement from the Kremlin and is largely considered a marginal figure. So, I have no idea, but absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. Okay. Remember when the United States was keeping its distance from the war in Ukraine? Oh yeah, I'm so gonna get tagged apparently from other channels. So anyway. We were to be just sending them defensive weapons. Remember that? I remember that. Just defensive. Nothing, nothing. Wait. So, just defensive, that means if you had GPS guided missiles, that'd probably be an offensive weapon, I would think. Huh. Anyway, memories. U.S. to send Ukraine GPS-guided munitions, says Politico. The U.S. is planning to supply Ukraine with GPS-guided, high-precision M982 Excalibur artillery shells, Politico reported on Friday, citing a person familiar with the matter. The shell is equipped with an armor-penetrating warhead and has a laser-guided version. The munitions can be fired using the U.S.-made M777 howitzers, which are already being used by Ukrainian troops. So, I mean, they don't want you to have the forward brace on your rifle. Hell, they don't want you to have a shroud on your rifle. They don't want you to have a pistol grip on your rifle, right? But these cats can have armor-penetrating, laser-guided weapons. You better not buy that damn trigger, though, because otherwise they'll send the ATF to your door. Anywho, the shells can hit targets at a range of up to 70 kilometers, depending on the artillery caliber. According to the manufacturer, Raytheon Technologies, the Excalibur munitions would allow Ukraine to strike targets deep inside Russian-controlled territories. Reports in May said Canada was providing a number of Excalibur shells to Ukraine that were left over from the war in Afghanistan. The report in Politico has come as the U.S. announced an additional $775 million worth of military aid to Kiev. The package includes 1,000 Javelin shoulder-fired anti-tank missile systems and 1,500 tube-launched, optically tracked, wire-guided tow missiles. I need a few of those, too. The Pentagon is also providing Ukraine with 40 heavily armored Max Pro mine-resistant vehicles. I'll take about 12 of those, which were originally developed for U.S. forces in Iraq. Kremlin, you mean the Taliban? The Taliban forces? Because that's who got all of our equipment. I'm just trying to be factual here. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in June that flooding the neighboring country with foreign weapons will only lead to more suffering in Ukraine and will not change the course of the conflict. And I would agree. I mean, Russia sent troops into Ukraine on February 24th, citing Kiev's failure to implement the Minsk agreements designed to give the regions of Donetsk and Lugansk special status within the Ukrainian state. The protocols, brokered by Germany and France, were first signed in 2014. Former Ukrainian President Peter Poroshenko has since admitted that Kiev's main goal was to use the ceasefire to buy time and create powerful armed forces. Maybe. No. I really do think it's gonna get stupid. Because, I mean, at what point can you not even remotely hide behind we're just helping them with defense? So, Russia, many of you probably know, have used hypersonic missiles in Ukraine already. First time a weapon like that to be used in combat. Anyway, apparently they've done it 3 times. So this is an article detailing that. It says Russian forces have successfully fired 3 Kinzhal hypersonic missiles during the conflict in Ukraine, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu has said. The missile has been used by us on 3 occasions during the special military operation in Ukraine, and it showed its outstanding qualities on 3 occasions, qualities that no other similar missile in the world possesses, Shoigu told Russia 1 TV on Sunday. The Kinzhal, or Dagger, is a Russian hypersonic air-to-surface missile that entered service in 2017. It can travel at a speed of Mach 12 while consistently performing evasive maneuvers, which is believed to allow it to penetrate any currently existing air defenses. The nuclear-capable munition can be launched from the country's Tu-22 M3 bombers or MiG-31 interceptor aircraft. the Defense Ministry reported the firing of a Kinzhal missile in mid-March, saying it destroyed an arms depot in the city of Ivano-Frankovsk, deep in western Ukraine. This is apparently the first time ever that a hypersonic weapon has been used in combat. The missile is one of several hypersonic systems developed for the Russian military in recent years, and it goes into the history of those as well. But I do have a feeling that what we're going to see is a big playground, at least in the beginning of this conflict. I think you're going to see a bunch of nations using technology either not before seen or really not seen deployed, maybe heard about, but not really seen deployed. I think we're going to see that. You know, they even have weapons that they've used against the American people that would be a game changer in combat. One of those things being even just the LRAD, the long-range acoustic devices. But they've also got microwave weapons as well that they can literally cook you on the inside out if they so choose. But supposedly their intent isn't to do that. It's just to make you very warm and uncomfortable so that you'll move. Yeah. So that's the point of the LRAD system too. But from my understanding, they can blow your eardrums out with it rather easily. So I don't know. That's just what I've heard. And they haven't really used those that I know of in combat. I don't think they really used them much in the desert over there. I'm sure they did, but I'm sure that there were just specific cases where that would have helped. But oh man, I'll tell you. Alright, and I have a couple going across the pond dealing with UK. More headlines coming out on energy bills over there. UK energy bills to skyrocket. Now they're saying the average British household can expect... Now, mind you, their military is being told to prepare for war and to prepare their families for war. The average British household can expect to see annual energy bills soar to £6,000 or nearly $7,100 in 2023, according to the latest outlook issued by the UK independent energy consultancy Auxilion on Saturday. Something. Now, the analysts project that the price cap on bills, an officially set reference point, could reach £6,089 as soon as next April. The cap currently stands at £1,971, but is expected to climb to £3,576 in October and £4,799 in January. Last October, it was set at £1,400, which is equal to $1,653. Earlier this month, the UK energy industry regulator Ofgem announced plans to adjust the cap quarterly rather than every 6 months. How mighty nice of them, right? Due to the volatility in energy markets. The latest figure represents a substantial increase to what was already a gloomy forecast made last week, when the consultancy projected annual average energy bills growing more than £5,000 or nearly $6,100 next year. Auxilion expects bills to peak at over £6,000 in April before slowly decreasing in the second half of next year, eventually coming down to £5,160 in October. So, not a good situation. And that is if they have the gas. This is the last tab I have open. Britain, the same folks that are being told their military should prepare for war, and the same folks that are giving out dire warnings about the cost and availability of gas. Yeah, that Britain are warning of a humanitarian crisis. Well, what gives? I'll tell you what. I don't know how these countries are going to be able to pull this off. And there's a chance that we might see one or more of these countries over there flip. Simply because there's no way they're going to be able to keep operating. Whether it be heat for people's homes, whether it be their industry. They're in a hard spot. So we'll see, but as this article says, the UK could face a humanitarian crisis involving ill health, excess deaths, and rising inequality if the government does not take urgent action on rising energy bills, the National Health Service Confederation warned on Friday. The organization wrote to the Chancellor of Exchequer, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, claiming that failing to act would add more pressure on health services that were already strained. According to the NHS, if energy bills become unaffordable, the country's health and social care system will be left to pick up the pieces. The country is facing a humanitarian crisis. Many people could face the awful choice between skipping meals to heat their homes and having to live in the cold, damp, and very unpleasant conditions, wrote the head of the NHS, Nadeem Zawayi. This in turn could lead to outbreaks of illness and sickness around the country and widen health inequalities, worsen children's life chances, and leave the indelible scar on local communities. The NHS highlighted that in addition to causing more sickness, mass fuel poverty was also likely to increase the already high number of annual deaths associated with cold homes. It noted that the situation could also affect mental health. So, it is a bad situation, and if they don't have access to gas, I don't know how prepared their homes are when it comes to things like fireplaces and wood stoves, but my concern with that is even the wood supply, because that's a huge increase in demand on wood supply. I mean, a much bigger increase on demand than what the suppliers are going to have ready, seasoned wood ready to go. So, you're going to see the price of wood, firewood, just absolutely skyrocket as well, and the availability of it dwindle very quickly. So, not a good situation. Any way you go about it, it is not a good situation. And I would say to anybody, whether you live in the United States, whether you live in Britain, no matter where you are, do everything you can to become as self-sustainable as possible. When it comes to your heat, figure out something. Check out the videos I've got on the diesel parking heater, the Chinese diesel parking heater. And then there's plenty of other people that make a lot better content than I do on those heaters. But that's a good option. The thing is you have to be able to get a hold of some diesel fuel now and be able to store enough of it that you think it'll get you by in case of an emergency. That you can run off 12 volts. As long as you can keep power going to it, you're good to go. It doesn't take a ton to keep it running. They're pretty efficient as far as the diesel fuel as well, so that is an option. That's the only good option I know of for a lot of people, especially people that rent. Because if you rent, and you don't have a fireplace or a wood stove, it's going to be all that harder to be able to put one in. So think of these things now, because I think these are going to be realities for a whole lot of people, not just over there. I think it's going to be a problem over here in the United States as well. Let's see. Have another sip and we'll start on the headlines. I am sore. I've been doing quite a bit of work I did around here over the course of the past few days, really. I am just sore, worn out, tired, ready for bed. Blue's fault. All of it. Everything. Every woe that I have. Her fault. All of it. She's ignoring me. I don't know why. I also don't know why she's ornery. Can't figure that out. Alright. Headline starting off that I put out on Friday, as usual. Two planes collide midair. No, I don't remember where offhand. California. I remembered that, but I couldn't remember anything about the plane crash. Cessna 340 and a single engine Cessna 152. So, unfortunate incident. The apparently the 340, which is a twin engine, went into a building and caught on fire. So I don't know. I don't know if they ever said anything about the other pilot. I don't know if they said anything. Yeah, they still haven't said anything, I don't think, on the other pilot, so. Anyway, very unfortunate incident. Let's see. Apple admits critical bugs in iPhones and Macs. Apparently there was a pretty serious issue there. North Korea furiously rejects South's absurd offer. Commodity firms buckling under energy crisis, says Bloomberg. More EU firms face bankruptcy, says Eurostat. U.S. prepares more military aid for Ukraine, says media. Again, these are Friday's headlines. Zelensky faces furious criticism from Ukrainians, says Washington Post. Top German politician makes Nord Stream 2 plea. Putin and Xi to attend J-20 summit, says the host. Norway fears major doping sanctions, says media. Germany at risk of deindustrialization, says Bloomberg. Facebook contractors fired by algorithms, says the media. U.S. has serious problems with branding Russia sponsor of terrorism, says Politico. U.S. has doomed Europe to hunger and cold, says Russia. Moscow comments on timeline for nuclear inspection of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. A nationalist unit executes 100 fellow Ukrainian troops, says Russian Ministry of Defense. Due reaction to follow Finland's visa move, says Russia. All Italian museums could be forced to close. A UK PM candidate wants to bar Putin from the G20. A stranded Russian turbine offered emotional support. U.S. on verge of becoming party to Ukrainian conflict, Moscow warns. And that's kind of the question I was asking earlier. At what point is it like, okay, they're actually helping them out on offensive measures? Israeli military reveals attack on third country during Gaza op. Another video surfaces of partying Finnish PM. U.S. could become directly involved in Ukraine fighting, says analyst. Afghanistan offers raisins for Russian oil. Here, have some raisins. Zelensky TV show to get remake in Poland. British consumer confidence slumps to record low. U.S. military expert backs Putin's claims. A Russian operator takes over Sakhalin-2 LNG project. Blame Putin, UK's Chancellor tells PM hopefuls. A Russian gas transit to EU via Nord Stream to be halted, says Gazprom. No more toy boys for UK grandmas in Gambia, says an official. Macron calls Putin. What did he call him? Details of EU plan to revive Iranian nuclear deal leaked to media. Russia's energy export revenues forecast to soar. A fake police station busted after operating for months. And, you know, you would probably think that this police station was kind of tucked away, hidden somewhere, so that they could get away with operating for months. You would think. But, no, the fake police station was located right next to the real police station. So, yeah. Anyway, Crimea air defense interceptions caught on camera. A U.S. announces $775 million in weapons for Kiev. But you better turn back that trigger. You better let them know you got it. Do it. If you haven't had a visit from the ATF yet, call them. Tell them you bought one. They're watching you. It's ridiculous. Apparently, they're going around to people's homes that bought a particular trigger or style. I'm not quite sure exactly. But apparently, they're actually going to the people's homes and retrieving the triggers. And quite frankly, that triggers me. France opposes Spain's gas pipeline project, says media. Oh, did I say that one? Riot disrupts showing of Ukraine film. German official suggests shower hack. Ukraine calls Germany addict and then offers a hit. Okay. Americans increasingly see FBI as Biden's Gestapo, says a poll. You don't say. Musk sees more brain chip tech, says media. A jihadist launched deadly hotel assault. And, we are to yesterday's news. Actually, when I gave the brain chip tech headline, we were on yesterday. Okay, that works. Putin and Xi may meet sooner than expected. Financial giants slash China's GDP outlook. A Big Short investor bets on prisons instead of traditional stocks, says media. Wonder if he knows anything. I don't know. No. Couldn't have anything to do with IRS agents and no. Drone targets Russian Black Sea Fleet, says our Sea Fleet headquarters, says governor. Iran drops nuclear deal demand, says CNN. More EU members speak out against proposed Russian tourist ban. Russia now in top 3 markets for yuan payments. Well, I hope you pay yuan back. If you borrowed money from yuan, you should pay yuan back. UK comments on Russia's role at G20. Russia continues to stockpile Forex reserves. U.S. speaks out on Zelensky's G20 participation. Foreign fighters eliminated in Ukraine, says Russia. EU calls to bar Russians' recall Nazi policy, says Moscow. Drought threatens wine output in France. Millions could be left without heat and food in winter, London mayor warns. EU nation cuts growth outlook for 2023. A congresswoman proposes jail time for giving U.S. children puberty blockers. Russian coal exports to China smash 5-year high. A Russian soldier, by the way, let me back up. You know who this is without even clicking on it, right? That's the problem. You know what congresswoman it was that proposed jail time for giving children puberty blockers without me clicking on the article. I've got a big problem with that. You should not even be able to remotely know which congressperson you're talking about when I say that. That's the scary part. That's the scary part. There's not many that will get very vocal about this. Not many. And most of them that do are women. Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you didn't know. But yeah, I could see Carrie Lake saying something like that. Absolutely. Where are the men? Russian coal exports to China smash 5-year high. Russian soldiers in Ukraine hospitalized with severe chemical poisoning, says Moscow. Thought that was interesting. NASA selects potential moon landing sites. EU airline makes U-turn on Russian flights. Americans censoring themselves on COVID, race, and abortion, says a survey. Swiss revolt warning is issued. Energy crisis threatens British nightlife. A Chinese ambassador outlines BRICS vision. I'll tell you what, backing up again. Yeah, your nightlife is going to be the last thing you're going to be worried about soon enough, I do believe. Turkey issues warning to NATO candidates. A Balkan nation's government toppled in no confidence vote. Xi asked Biden to prevent Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, says Washington Post. Germany to face highest inflation in 70 years, says the central bank. Massive fire consumes mall in Mediterranean port city. Bad breeding killing British pups, says report. The Taliban demands end to the travel ban. Taliban demands into the travel ban. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, we could totally do that. Let's see. NATO increases presence. I know. I shouldn't take bong hits before the show. NATO increases presence in Kosovo, says the media. Cost of cost of living pushing UK women into prostitution, says an actor. I'm not laughing about this headline. neither one of those subjects are remotely funny, but anywho, oh, I got huffed. Finally. Car blast kills daughter. Oh, I covered that. Kills daughter of Russian philosopher Dugin, says reports. Cyprus purchases Iron Dome air defense, says media. And we are down to today. Let me have a sip of coffee and a couple of vapes, and you know the drill. Hey, it pretty well made it, though. The coffee. I had to slow down there for a minute, because I was going through it pretty quick. I gotta toss something over to my left over there and just see what happens. No. Even talking about it gets me huffed. Such high maintenance. Anyway, today's headlines. Siemens apologizes for trolling Gazprom, and I'm sure they are really sorry. Japan wants missiles that can strike China, says the media. Let's see. Dugina Moscow car bombing death officially confirmed. Let's see. Saudi Arabia's economy set to grow faster than the U.S. Covered that. Deadly hotel siege in Somalia lifted, says an official. Ukraine's GDP to fall by 40%, says S&P. I covered that one. Turkey comments on progress of Ukrainian grain deal. Ukrainian regional security chief commits suicide, says media. India boosts gold purchases. Swiss ski resorts face power pressures. German chancellor's ratings hit new low. Again, on the ski resorts. It's probably going to be a dream thing. Details about... Oh, I covered that. Let's see. And that. Russia is China's top oil supplier for third straight month. Kiev denies responsibility for Dugina killing. I'm sure I'm saying that name wrong. UK energy... Oh, I covered that. Germany has abandoned Ukraine, says controversial ex-envoy. Record loss reported by world's largest sovereign wealth fund. Communists call for Russia's patriotic left to unite. That like Power Rangers unite, or ex-Swiss minister in hot water for blaming West for deaths of Russian soldiers. I mean, it could be like Voltron, right? Have the different lions. Turkey says it will enforce anti-Russia sanctions. Asian nation decriminalizes gay sex. Bodies pulled from landslide-stricken shrine. Alleged spies arrested after security breach in NATO country, says media. Scholz told Putin when Ukraine could join NATO, says media. New York reports first juvenile monkeypox case. Ukrainian neo-Nazis target Pushkin bust. Scholz promises Kiev more weapons soon. And that's it. That is all the headlines. Goodness. I am whooped. I am going to run out of here and go to bed. I'm tired. Anyway, I hope you all have a good evening. I appreciate you coming. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll bore you all to death again, and we'll go from there. So again, thanks for coming. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.